Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Power of Words podcast. I'm so excited and touched to be here with you today. Thank you for always coming back to listen to the power of words of the guests we have on the show, because they're really important. And I think it makes us all realize that we're not alone. Today, I'm so excited to have with us the beautiful Clara Woods and her mom. The power behind Clara Woods is Betina Genovese. And I am talking to Betina today. I think the power of her words are really how, when you've hit rock bottom, you find that as a way to bounce back and rebuild your life. So welcome, Betina. Clara, it's been a pleasure working with you and spending time with you and creating with you. And we look forward to doing many, many more things together. But let's start with you, Betina, originally from Brazil.
Yeah. So I'm from Brazil and I lived in Italy 17 years, where then I met Carlo, my husband. And so Clara was born and raised in Italy until we moved to the US.
So tell us about, of course, you get married and you have a baby. So tell us about Clara and how you, when did you find out that Clara had an issue? And do you want to talk to us about
Yeah, so
how that came about?
Clara was born okay. And then when we start seeing a lot of signs, like her hand was always closed, she couldn't move in the bed or something. But the doctor always said each babe has their own time.
Yeah.
And since Carlo, for his first marriage, has a daughter with muscular atrophy, in my stupidity, when I was young, I said, I'm not doing any exam. What come,
Yes.
all this. And then when we start seeing things with Clara, mostly anyone wants to say anything because we had this, maybe she has also muscular atrophy. But then I went to IKEA. She was around 7 months and I saw a babe of her age doing everything. So I asked, how old is your babe? And then the woman said 7 months. And I started crying and I said, Carlo, something really, it's happening. And then we start doing the test. So the first test, it was to exclude the muscular atrophy. Then I didn't have the gene, so it was not that. And the doctor said should be a small scar in the brain because Clara was okay, let's say. Then when the MRI results came over, then the doctor called by phone and she said it's terrible. She had a stroke and then a brain damage, a huge and extent brain damage, so she will not be able to do anything. And I started crying and she said, you are right to cry because your life will be a nightmare. And Carlo was even in the country, he was out. So I run at home to see, is this my baby really they talking about? So, and then I found Clara. Yeah.
How did you take it from there, and what inspired you to give Clara this platform and change her life and change yours? I remember the first time I talked to you, it was about the power behind Clara and what does it take to be that woman who makes a decision to give her daughter a life and create a celebrity literally out of this amazing human being. That's your gift in so many ways.
Yeah, I think I always say the first word for our family was acceptance. So we never was looking for guilties or what happened,
Yeah.
or like the doctors doing genetic tests or let's see why. And we were like, okay, it happened.
is.
I think faith, because I believe that God was always with me, and I fought a lot with him, saying, why you cannot heal Clara? But at certain stage, I said, okay, I have this. because every birthday part of her, I was dealing with God. So this is the one that she will speak, and then doesn't happen, and you have always this thing that will happen something. And even we are so blessed because for her brain, she should be really a vegetable, not doing anything, not understand. So she understands three languages. She can speak, write, or read, but she can do so many things. And I think what changed is that when I realized how the world is, like she will not be able to work, she will not be able to have a normal life. And it happened as she grows because she was a beautiful baby. So, everyone wants to play, everyone wants to do things, but as she grows, she starts being excluded in school. Kids don't want her to play because she can't run. And you go for this terrible reality and you don't have answers. And she starts like pushing her in school and throwing rocks in the kids, and then the teacher would call me and say she's throwing rocks, and I say she's not this kind of baby and one of kid. And then once I passed in the school and it was break and I saw her all alone, all the teachers speaking with themselves and the kids playing. So I understood why she was throwing rocks.
Of course.
But for the teachers she's the problem.
Yes.
She's not.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
A couple of things. You said, this is what God gave you, and this is what your life was going to be, and you learned to accept it. And the word for your family is acceptance. I often think and believe that God chose Clara for you because you would be the best person to raise her and do whatever needed to be done to elevate this human being and turn her into something really amazing, like you have. And another thing is about bullying. That's happens so often and so much, and you were lucky to be able to pull her out of that environment and give her another safe environment to be in. So bullying is such a big topic of conversation that so many times we don't realize that you actually got to see it happen, and you could take action. But a lot of the times, for normal kids, parents don't see that happening. And actually, kids don't even realize they're being bullied at times. So it's nice when parents can actually notice that.
Now you are speaking, and I can say in Clara's history, I think she was not so much bullied, like a lot of kids are more. Just came in my mind seeing we as parents were so much more bullied than her when we start bringing out things like no one invites Clara to birthday parties. And then the parents of the kids in her class would be angry with us because it was about them. So it's so hard when you need to speak of things, and what we are trying to do now, inclusion, diversity, and we feel that okay, people doesn't want to face because touch them personally. And once we went to a dinner after the year is finished, so the parents, all the kids, and what happened is that we always went for everything they invite us or these things, and this time it was in a soccer camp in the night, and then they just left Clara there alone, all the kids in the dark. And then when Clara arrived crying, all these parents were looking at us and saying okay, what we should do. And I don't know, they were trying to say our kids didn't do that, all these things. And then Clara I want to stay.
Inclusion. They don't know how to be inclusive.
Yeah, and I think it's not their fault. It's like education. They don't know. They have fear. They don't know how to say also to their kids, don't do that. And then we said, Clara, let's go away. We can give you the biggest ice cream in the world. And Clara said, no, I want to stay. And Carla and I just want to run because, we say, just go and So it's hard also for us as parents to deal with this, to not put our things and say you are wrong, but to try to educate and say, okay, it can happen, but you can say to your kids to explain how to do, but it's much easier to not see, so you don't need to act. And even in your family, the same.
Yeah, absolutely. In every family, but it's up to us as parents to. And now it's talked about even more, right? People are more educated on how to be inclusive and how to accept somebody and make them feel one or make them feel the same. And it's not like you have to leave someone out. Talk to me about Clara's art. Where did that come from? How did that begin? And Clara, how much do you love doing your art?
Do you love doing your art? Yes or no? Or yes, you can say yes. How do you say yes?
Yes.
No, go. Yeah, she always did that.
Yes. Bravo.
Yeah, so Clara started painting when she was 6, just to do some art class, and then she stopped to do some sports that we couldn't find because of her brain damage. She has her right side that's weaker. And then when she was 10, 11, she started to going again to this art class, and the teacher was really good. She had a good connection with Clara. So in the beginning, it was the same time when I decided, okay, Clara cannot work. I will make her become a digital influencer because I
Amazing.
think it's the work that she can do. And then she started painting all black, all destroying her paintings. Then it comes some forms, colors, and we were, whoa, it's nice. But parents are always thinking it's nice. And then just that I
No,
cannot
that's
see.
okay.
And then I gave her the book of Frida Kahlo, and she was in love. She was kissing the book, and I think she identified a lot with Frida's history. And then she said, like, one day we were on the couch and the book had the page of Frida in New York. So she showed me and she said, Mom, I want to go to New York and make the exhibition as Frida did. And I said, okay, let's try. Clara was 11 years old. And then next day we went to a coffee shop in Florence and we asked to do her exhibition there. They saw her artwork and they said yes. And she made her first exhibition in 2018. And I just create everything as like Clara is an artist. She has the catalog book, the postcards,
Yeah.
all her big pictures with motivational phrase.
Amazing.
And then she went to the newspaper, to the radio, television, and then I said, okay, it happened now, I cannot die. So I started doing social media every day, and we sold out the first all the paintings. And then in Italy it's a lot complicated. We asked to the judge to open a company for her. So with 12 years, she was the first kid in Italy to have her own company.
Amazing. Congratulations, Clara.
And we did to not do a non-profit, to not connect always a disability with non-profit, and then you just buy to help. If you want to buy her artwork, you can buy because you
help her.
like it
Yeah.
and because she's an artist. So this was the mentality.
As a mother and as your entire family, you guys are, so supportive and do everything, and it's all about Clara. Talk to me about, being a mother is a full-time job. Being a mother with a kid with disabilities is twice the job, if not 3 times. And you also manage her business, so to speak. What's your mental well-being like? How do you get through your day? What's a typical day for you? That is what really struck me when I talked to you and you approached us, to connect and do a collaboration. And I know that we will do a lot of work together. But because we work in mental well-being, I want to know what your mental well-being is like on a
So
daily
I
basis.
think coming from Brazil, so I come from a reality that's different from here, also from Europe, where you need to make things happen if you want to. And my parents had always their own business, so I grew up in never stability to say, even if my grandpa was really rich and then he lost everything. So I always leave these, contracts, these things. And I don't, I really don't know. For me, the faith in God. So I went through really bad times. I think traumatic, like because when I choose to sell my company and to move here, we just moved to the US with 6 bags and all from zero. Then, it's all not easy choices where you don't have any safety, and we are just and for me it's about dreaming and making things happen, even for Clara, because I say, Clara, when we will have your red carpet, or red carpet, I don't know for what, maybe a TV show, maybe something, we will just wear sneakers, because then, she cannot use high heels.
Yeah.
And even
It's
me.
the trend
Yeah.
anyway.
So only sneakers, and people always see me as I'm a little bit crazy when I say, okay, let's work with Nike, and I want to speak with The Rock and all these things. And in 2016, I had a big cries, like crying. I couldn't stop crying. And then I had a coach, and he said, what do you want to do in 5 years? And I said, I want to move to California, and I want to work my creativity, and I want to be not, closer to Clara and to my family, because I had a company and I was always traveling and, working. And I think dreaming, because it's our comfort zone, is like, it's okay like this. And really, if I would not say yes to Clara that night, okay, let's try, our life would not be here.
Absolutely.
And the fact that today she's a role model for a lot of people.
And you.
Yeah, because we said yes. And when I say, okay, it's too much, and it happens a lot, that I say, I will give up. So it's like, it's too much. Something happened that I say, okay, just one day more. And I don't know, maybe also the first call with you, I even cried, and it was like, okay.
Yeah, it was touching for me too.
Yeah, it's like, okay, someone finally see me as me, and not just because people think it's easy,
Cry.
People think it's easy, and they think, like, a lot of people think we are rich and we are just
You are
passing
rich.
out. Yes,
different. You have a different kind of wealth.
but like, we are investing all our money in this business, so people think that we are rich and we are just passing our time. It's our full job,
Of course,
to make this happen. And why? Now I know, like, we are motivating
for
people.
Clara's life. I mean, to give Clara, I think what you're showing through what you do is it's really easy to sit back and say, okay, this is what I have to deal with, and just let it flow and give the child exactly what you need. But it takes really hard work. I mean, I run a business, and it's really hard work, and I can work 18 hours a day. Yeah. But it's a business, it's a thing. But when you're dealing with a human being, and you have to control every emotion of a human being.
I always say, some people doesn't like I say that, but I try to separate. So now Clara, she's a brand and she's a product, and I need to deal with it like, because a brand. So I sell her name, I sell her, I need to take care of the image. And also our family say, why you always speak with Clara? It's not Clara, my daughter. It's
Clara, the brand.
the brand, the product that I'm dealing. So it's difficult to separate, because, and then they say, you just speak about Clara. No, I'm telling you what happened. So we came to the podcast that it's about the brand, you know.
Of course.
But then we have all the things like she needs to do videos, she needs to do the things. And a lot of people think just because she has a disability, we cannot push. So she should be just, you know, doing whatever she wants. And I say, but if someone wants to play football, they need to train, they need to eat well. And why Clara shouldn't?
Yes.
So
And she loves it.
yeah.
I see when Clara was in the photo shoot, you loved it. She loves posing. She loves being a model. Um, and she loves
And
painting.
she's a teenager, you know,
Yeah.
so it's like, I always say, and I said even yesterday, because we fought, right, Clara? A lot. And then I said, Clara, until I die, I know that I did everything, because we could be living our lives. She would be in an institute or with a
Yeah,
babysitter.
absolutely.
In this way, we are doing things together. We are growing together. We can travel together. And she needs to know that if we are going to Art Basel, someone needs to paint. I can't paint, right? So if now she's ambassador for Shop Goodwill, you said yes, so you need to do. I can't, you know. I try to do all things easier for her, but she needs to take responsibility, because she's turning 18. And with 18, people are going to college, people are working to pay the college, and why she don't, you know?
She's been working, though. She's been working for, what, 7 years now, building up to where you are today, Clara.
Yeah.
We're so proud of you. And you're such an inspiration and a role model for young people, for teenagers, for adults, for me. You know, the drive that it takes to be able to do that. And how do you handle your well-being, your mental well-being? Because you don't have a break from any of this, not from the work side of it, not from being a mother. And you also have Davi, and Davi is an incredibly amazing child. He's an old soul in a young body. I see he's so attentive and patient. Incredible for someone his age.
I struggled a lot, but then when we moved to US, after being here 2 months, I lost my dad. So it was really traumatic, this experience, like the pandemic. We moved here in the middle of the pandemic.
Wow, so you're here, it's new.
Yeah,
You're only
3
here
years.
since, wow.
Then my dad was here, and it was so blessed that we could come with the borders closed. It's a long story, but then he died, and we couldn't do anything. So for a long time, I was grieving and anxiety, and like if happened to me. And then I was in a point that I said, okay, I need to just be grateful and to make limits in my life. So I don't want anymore like that everyone likes me or try to be accepted for, you know, family or people that you want to be loved. But I start putting a lot of limits and accept myself for who I am. And it was listening a song of Pharrell Williams. No.
Pharrell Williams,
Yes.
Happy?
No, it's the one, I've been too far to give up who I am.
Yes.
And since this, it was my motto. And I said, I will start.
That's every day for you,
Yeah.
actually.
And I will start because, you know, I think I have the syndrome of imposter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I said, I will start saying no. And when I start saying no, the word fell around me, because people said, how she's saying no, how she's rebelling now. And I said, okay, I'm doing that. If you don't like, then it's your problem. And a lot of relationships, importance, just broke. But I said also for Caro, this is the reality. A relationship's not just when we say yes.
Yes.
And really this freed me for a lot of things. And now I just try, okay, yesterday we had a difficult day, I cried, but then I say just 7 minutes, and then I try to be back. And it really changed my life.
I love that you picked the number 7, 7 minutes. Because I believe in the magic of 7 and the 7 words and the 7 colors, and we're going to work on that
Yeah.
together and talk about that. You built Clara Woods, the brand, but you have so much to share with parents of normal kids, normal human beings, even. And now you're launching a platform to teach people how to not just deal with a child with disabilities, but
Yeah, I start saying, because I always speak about dreaming, even when I was kid. And going back, I love the rainbow.
Yeah.
It was always my thing, the rainbow.
That's where we connect on the
Yeah.
power of 7.
So I create a course called the Rainbow Plane. I also connect with Clara Scholars. It's 7 models about how to dream big and make your dreams come true. So I don't have any background yet, like therapies or these things, but by experience, I share my story and I try to say what I did. And I was so afraid. I said, I don't know how people will receive, because also, I don't speak any language anymore well, because my Portuguese is with Italian accent. My Italian is with Portuguese English. So student, and then I was okay, let's see. And she said really changed my life.
Absolutely.
And it was so cool to see, because sometimes I just think it's not possible that I can do this in other people's lives. But then it happened, and we say, okay, and now, yeah, we are now calling it Dreamland. I'm still finishing, but it's to help people to identify their dreams, because I think this is the most important, because people just go and live and they don't know what they really
Their
want.
purposes. And also people don't have a purpose.
Yeah.
I mean, some people don't have a purpose. And I
Yeah.
think if you find your purpose, you find the drive to make the change.
Yeah. And even with Clara, when I start, I never imagined to get this proportional, but I always dream like we will be famous, but not for the fame,
Yes.
for what,
The impact.
brings. Yeah, so I used to say, we will go, when we asked the visa for her, everyone said they will never give. You can feel people laughing in your back, and just saying, okay, again, she has these ideas again, and then it happened, because, yeah. So we came here, and then do you think Mom say a lot of stupid things?
No, not at all.
And then I say, okay, now I'm trying to contact Jared Leto, because he creates so good content, and I would like Clara to do something with him.
Amazing.
So,
Jared Leto.
Yeah. And then she paint for Alicia Keys, and we could go and deliver it for Alicia herself. So, because I always say Clara has the potential, and I see her like a very good an artist and entrepreneur, because she has 45% of the company is hers. So she has the company too. It's not just,
It's not just
Yeah.
the family, it's her ownership.
Yeah, it's me and her. And I hope I can teach her some things in the future about it. Right, Clara? Do you want to tell something? What's your dream? The guinea pig. So this is Chocolate, her guinea pig. She wants to have like a rescue house for guinea pigs.
Oh,
And a house for you with a swimming pool. Do you want dogs?
she wants Belle.
And do you want like kids? How many kids?
3.
She always wants twins, triplets. And I know it's too much.
To have one is too much. So
Yeah.
triplets is a lot of work for you.
But she wants triplets.
Well, may all your dreams come true. Tell us about your platform, and what do you just to, tell the audience, what is it you're looking for in terms of your platform? How do you think people can help Clara? I know we have Clara's product on the website, and that's how you sell the product. We're also doing a collaboration with the Power of Seven, where we will have Clara's product on the Power of Words as well.
Yeah, so until now, Clara has her e-commerce, and we have original paintings, limited edition prints, and also merch like this.
Yes, this is
the
her work.
model. Yes, so inclusion. We launched this Inclusion Matters movement, so we are doing a lot of things, but mostly in her, I'm creating Clara's world. So every character has her own story. So we have the Halloween collection, and then each character has their story, but like it's all based on inclusion. Each one has their own fears, and then maybe in the future my idea is also to have a cartoon with all these characters. So Santa, that's the Christmas collection, he has ADHD, so he bursts in anger. It's not a normal Santa, you know. And then I want to connect people that they can feel included and they can have a safe place to share their fears, to grow together. Always, I think the main message is like to dream and to make these things happen, because people is so, what's the opposite of freedom?
Jail, to be
like
imprisoned.
they're
So imprisoned in their
like in my life,
fear.
I could say I have my company, everything's going well, like why I will change, and I decide no, change this all safety I had for completely unsafe. This year we had renew our visa, and I was, if they don't give us, we don't have any house to go, you know.
Yeah.
We don't have house in Italy. Which house? Grandma's house. It's not an easy thing because Carlos' mom, you know, these family things. But in Brazil, I don't have my parents, so where are we going? And you just need to have faith will happen or solve after. And so I think this based on dreams and how to, because you will not be safe, you know. Life is not about being safe. It's about
It has its challenges, and it's about you taking risks, which you did take. You've taken the risks that have brought you this far. So there's definitely a purpose for what you're doing, and empowering other human beings in general through your
and I would like also to have more the message to teens, because we've been doing some work in schools, and I've been mom for 17 years, 12 years, and I was how these kids are broken and we are not seeing.
We don't pay attention to it yet. Yeah. And how do we get, we lack communication. We're not communicating with the teens the way they want to communicate. We're trying to communicate the way we want to communicate. So it's about listening to them.
Yeah, and also I'm living with David. He's like,
yes.
Until yesterday, he was my baby. He was sleeping with me. Now he's like, I don't want, and it's hard to deal.
Yeah, to let go.
But even then, in this program we did in the schools, we asked kids to write their traumas, and you can imagine what comes from one word we said to them, one thing we did, or even other people, but how they feel inside.
Yeah.
And this, I think it's really important.
Really powerful. Absolutely. Well, I thank you for your courage and everything you've done with Clara, and for Clara's resilience and hard work, and having to be where you have to be and do what you have to do to inspire others. So thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for being here, and look forward to doing some amazing things together.
Me too.
Thank you, everybody, for listening in, and I hope this has inspired you with Betina, the power of Betina's words. Thank you.